Wow, what an amazing video. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I am Ritesh Purohit from T3 and Sate by Informa Markets in India, and I'll be your host for today. I thank you all for joining this exclusive webinar presented to you by Teleport, India's most trusted visa platform. This is hosted by Travel Trends Today and Sate. Teleport, your B2B online visa platform, is committed to simplify the visa process for Indian travel agents and operators, ensuring the best experience for their clients while saving time, money, and maximizing profits. Let's have a look at how some key features are by Teleport. Teleport is trusted by 1000 plus travel agents and companies. They've got an impressive 98% approval rate and many more. So let's together uncover the digital visa solutions at your comfort. We assure you that the session would be interactive. Do participate in polls and Q&As. Please keep posting questions during the session so that we can take them towards the end of the session. Not wasting any further time, let's welcome our esteemed guest, Ms. Nikita Dresswala, CEO, Teleport. I would like to welcome Ms. Nikita here.
Thank you so
Over
much,
to you, Ms.
Ritesh.
Nikita.
Thank you so much, Ritesh, and thank you everyone who's joined the session today. We're going to try and make it as interactive and as helpful for all the people who joined in today for the session. Can we get the presentation up as well? Great. Again, welcome to everyone who's taken out a time on a Tuesday afternoon to come and join us and attend this webinar. We're going to exclusively discuss visas and how we can simplify visas for you, how you can grow your travel business using visas. Let me first start out by setting up the agenda for today's call and what are the things that we're going to cover. First, most importantly, we're going to cover the visa trends that have come up recently in the last 1 year. I think there's a lot of confusion relating to what countries are visa free, what countries require visas, what documentation is needed. So I'm going to briefly discuss trends in the last year. What are the new things that have happened that you can also share with your customers, grow business in certain countries. Post that, we'll talk about what are the current big challenges with visas. How do you solve them? So we'll go into appointments, documentation, tracking, rejection. So we'll talk about each of them in detail. And then I'll also show you a quick demo of the Teleport platform. I'll show you how we are trying to simplify some of these visa challenges that come for a lot of travel agents. And I'll keep the last 10 minutes for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please keep posting them in the chat and we'll try and answer them during the presentation or we'll take them towards the end of the presentation. But let's get started. Before we start on visas, I want to do a quick poll and understand which are the countries where you've seen the largest demand amongst the 4 that we've pushed here. So let me quickly publish the poll let's look at what countries have been seeing demand for all of you. So we'll wait for 10 seconds and then I'll show the results on the platform so we understand where all people have been seeing the most demand. I'll also show after the poll which countries have been the most demand in terms of actual number of visas. So that you also know if there are some countries where you're doing better, some countries where you could get much more business. Okay, so we have a lot of responses that have come in. I'm going to wait for another 5 seconds. Great. Let me end the poll. I think we're still getting a lot of responses. Let me wait another 2 seconds. I don't think we have a very clear winner today, but let me end the poll and show the results. So we're seeing so the poll results say it's an equal mix between Europe and UAE, which is I think expected, and then obviously US is the third biggest one. Let me also show you later on how the actual demand looks like across some of these countries, so you know whether you're doing as well as some of these other countries are doing. So let's go ahead. Let's look at some of the visa trends. But before I go on to visa trends, let me talk about the overall, actually, you can go ahead on the next slide. Let me talk about the overall tourism volume and how it is growing, right? So outbound travel right now is already this year is as good as the pre-COVID levels. It's better than the pre-COVID levels, and it's expected to grow to USD 42 billion market. What is even more interesting, rather than just this 42 billion number in terms of market size, is the number of Indian travelers who now have passports. So in the last 10 years, 100 million passports have been issued. So there are 10 crore passports that have been issued. 8 crore Indians are expected to go on international trip. So the volumes of international is just going to grow more and more over the next few years. Let's also go ahead and look at some of the other, other stats on outbound tourism. So if you look at the last 3 months as well, the number of passengers in international has been growing. And from starting December, it will just keep peaking because you'll have the summer coming up. So a lot of volumes that you see right now, the volumes are coming from some of these Middle East countries. But as you go into Feb, March, April, you will start seeing passengers for Schengen, and these numbers should just keep going up. Now that we discussed overall traffic trends, let's look at visas specifically. And let's look at visas, what's happening in visas. So you guys are right. The biggest country in terms of volumes is United Arab Emirates. So it's Dubai which sees the maximum number of visas that are issued in India. Almost 20% of all visas issued in the country are issued for UAE, followed by United States, UK. I think you're right about Europe also. We've clubbed it into Europe, but if you club all the European countries, I'm sure it will beat United States in terms of the volume. But we see the maximum amount of visas being issued for UAE in the last 1 year. Let's go ahead and discuss some more interesting trends. So we've also collated data on rejections. I think a big problem with visas is कि मेरा visa reject हो जाता है and you don't know why it happens. And I think towards the later half of this presentation, I'll talk about why do these visas get rejected. But countries which see maximum rejection, one is US, second is Schengen countries, followed by some of the other countries like UK, Singapore. But the big problem around rejection is on Schengen and US, and a large chunk of it, US is largely appointment driven. So if your interview doesn't go well, it gets rejected. But for some of the other countries in Schengen, it's more controllable. There are things you can do on your financial accounting side, on your bank balance, in terms of your documentation to ensure that you get these visas approved. And I'll discuss them in the second half of this presentation. Let's go ahead, look at some of the other new interesting piece of news that have come in the last 1 year. And there's some very interesting news in terms of countries going visa free. And I wanted to discuss them in the presentation today. So there are 3 countries that went fully visa free this year. However, while they've become visa free, they are not process free, and which is what I wanted to discuss in the presentation today. Malaysia is visa free. It's become visa free just a couple of months ago. However, it's mandatory to get an arrival card. So before their travel, please ensure that you're applying for their arrival card. It's a very simple process. It will come through in a few minutes, but you have to ensure that you're applying for it before their travel. Sri Lanka, another important country that went visa free. I think there has been a lot of confusion around Sri Lanka. They announced it, but when people went to Sri Lanka, they were charged $25 at the airport. Now it's been solved. The embassy has announced it. They have implemented it on the ground. However, there is again a rule here. There is an electronic travel authorization, which is free of cost, but which needs to be applied prior to you traveling to Sri Lanka. So if your traveler is traveling to Sri Lanka and he's not applied for this ETA, please apply for it. It's free of cost. If you don't do it, you may still be charged at the airport a $25 fee. So please ensure that you have this ETA in place before your traveler is traveling. The only country in this list which is fully visa free is Thailand. So Thailand is one of those countries where there's no documentation required. So be rest assured, just get their bookings done and they can just go on the airport and they'll have no problems in immigration. But please ensure that Malaysia, Sri Lanka, you're getting these documentation done before they travel. Let's also look at a few other countries that are planning to go visa free. So there are countries, there are three countries, actually there are four of them which are planning to go visa free soon. And I think it could be interesting for you to plan trips for your passengers to some of these countries as well. Indonesia, while it's visa on arrival today, it's also e-visa. So if you want to offer e-visas, you can offer. But the government there is planning to remove the visa fee entirely. So they may not even have to pay this visa fee. This is in discussions. It has not been implemented. Iran is another country which is planning to go visa free starting next year. So if you are having people who want to travel to to Iran, it could be another interesting country where you don't have to worry about visas at all. The last country in this list, again, there's a lot of confusion on this that has been going around, is Vietnam. Is Vietnam visa free right now? No, it is not. The government, the embassy has announced that they are planning to go visa free, but it has not been implemented yet. So please ensure that if you have travelers who are traveling anytime soon, you apply for the Vietnam e-visa. Otherwise, they will get stopped at the airport. Apart from these three countries, there's also Kenya, which is planning to go visa free. However, from what we've been hearing, it's going to be e-visa like the process it is right now, and it will not fully be visa free. But as soon as we get more information, if you guys are not signed up on our platform, please do sign up. We keep sharing news on visas as well. So if any of these countries become visa free, we'll let you know very soon. Uh, let's move to the next. Another country where we have a lot of our travel partners reach out to us is US. It is still a problem to get appointments. It is taking more than 500 days even right now to get appointments, but hopefully it should get soon. It should get solved soon. US is planning to open up 2 new centers. So they're going to open up a center at Bangalore. They're going to set up a center at Ahmedabad. They're also planning to open up more slots in the existing centers. So currently, while it is a problem, hopefully it should get solved in the next year. I'm also in the second half of this presentation. If you're not finding appointment slot, how to solve for it, I'll share more tips and tricks for that. So please stay back till the second half of the presentation to understand how do you get appointments as well. Let's move ahead. Another very interesting piece of news, I think everybody has been waiting for it. Schengen visas are now planning to go digital. Again, not happened yet. They have just announced this. So all the 27 countries in the Schengen region, they've as a part of the EU Council, they've discussed this. It has been approved, which means it will happen for sure. When it will happen is still not clear. The timeline that we have right now is that by 2026, a new system will be in place and Schengen visas will also become all online. So you don't have to worry about a lot of these appointments, documentation. It will all go digital. However, there will be rules around that as well. So if there is a traveler who's never done biometrics, if it's a first time traveler, they might still have to go to a VFS center. But any traveler who's applying multiple times will not have to go to a center every single time. The rules of it again are not out right now. As soon as they come out, we will again keep sharing a lot of these information over our WhatsApp channels, over our email channels. So please sign up to our platform and we'll keep at least giving you some of these informations. Okay, let's move ahead. The last visa trend that we have is Russia. So Russia, I don't know how many of the travel agents said do Russia, but Russia has gone e-visa this year. It's again an interesting country where a lot of people are now traveling to. The visa process for it was very complicated before this year, but starting August of this year, they've gone completely e-visa. There were some challenges in the beginning, but which have now been solved. So if you have travelers who want to do very offbeat countries and they want to go to Russia, Russia is another interesting country which has gone e-visa and has become very, very easy to solve for now. So that's it in terms of the visa trends. I think now let's get to the more interesting part of this presentation in terms of how do we actually get these visas and how do we get it right? Right. So let's move ahead. Let's quickly before I jump into the next part of the presentation, let me talk about why it's very, very critical that you can grow your business through visas. I've discussed some numbers. I just wanted to take another moment to discuss broad numbers in terms of visas. There are 26 million Indians who travel every year. Out of all these, so we've done a lot of surveys over the last year. 80% of the people we've spoken to end up struggling with the whole visa process. more than 70% people end up outsourcing it to travel agents. When we've spoken to these users, they end up booking their flights, hotels a lot of times online. But when it comes to visas, they always want to go to a more trusted source. So they end up going to a travel agent. So in case you're not offering visas as a service, it's a very interesting service to offer to then, go and cross sell other products that you could offer to these customers as well. Also, we tried and analyzed what are people charging for these services. So travel agents, we've seen charging anywhere from 500 to 2000 for premium customers, even going up to 3 to 4,000, depending on the type of visa, whether it's e-visa or if it's a more complicated visa, obviously they end up charging more. So there's a lot of monetization revenue potential also to be made from the visas that you do for these customers. Let's go on to the next slide. And I want to do a quick poll again. I want to understand how are some of you members who are here today doing some of these visas. Are you doing this yourself? Are you doing it, outsourcing it to somebody? Or are you doing part of it yourself, part of it outsourcing to somebody else? So let me quickly run this poll and let's look at how is everyone today who's present here processing some of their visas. And I'll also then talk a little bit about Teleport, especially if you're outsourcing or if you want to outsource, how we can simplify the process for you. Okay, so we have a lot of answers coming in. I'm going to wait for another 5 to 10 seconds and then end the poll and publish the results. Okay, so let me end it now and let's see. Got it. So very interesting. So there are almost 77% people who are either outsourcing it or doing partly themselves and partly outsourcing it to somebody else, which is good. So I'm going to talk a lot more about Teleport if you're especially outsourcing, how we can simplify, make it easy for you. And I'd love to get your feedback on our product also, and see if there are anything more that you would need on the product end and to solve for visa specifically. So let's move ahead and let me quickly let me take like 5 minutes to talk about Teleport before we jump into how we're solving some of the problems in visas. Let's move to the next slide. I want to just give you a brief understanding of what Teleport does. So Teleport is an online platform where we've tried to simplify visas and make it much, much more easy for you to apply and track your visas. So we do 40 plus countries today on the platform. We have a very, very high approval rate across most of the countries that we do. We help you end to end. So right from providing you the checklist to drafting all the documents, be it your cover letter, forms, ensuring that all the information is correct or not, to then actually going and, booking appointments, submitting documents, all of it gets done by our team end to end. We give you timelines upfront. So if we commit to you by a certain time, in 95% of the visas that we do, we commit, the time that we commit to you is the time we give the visas to you. And also prices wise, we are very, very our price point is on the significantly lower side because it's a tech platform. We've automated a lot of things, which means we can bring down the prices for all the travel agents that we work with. So let's go ahead. Just a quick slide on a lot of other partners that we work with. So we work with 1,000 plus travel agents and companies. We also have a white label product. So if any of you is interested in if you have your own website and want a white label product on your website, we're happy to do that also. You can reach out to our team after this session and we can help you understand how we can launch a white label for you. We have 3 offices. So we have our headquarters at Bangalore, but we have offices at Mumbai and Delhi. So if you have customers across these 3 locations, you can send it to our office there. We also have sub offices where, we can, so even if your customers are not in these locations, but you need to do submissions at Chennai, Calcutta, all of these locations, we can also help you with those locations. That's not a problem. Let's go to the next slide. I'll also briefly talk about some of the features that we've built and I'll show you a demo of the platform later on. but we built very, very simple features to ensure that the time that it takes you to apply for visas reduces significantly. You can just, for example, you can just come in and upload a picture of your passport. We automatically will pre-fill all the information from the passport to the form so that you don't need to manually fill in any of the details. We automatically generate a lot of documentation on the platform. So we'll generate your cover letter. In case you want us to make an itinerary, you need on-hold flight tickets, hotel bookings, all of it. We have one single pricing. We don't charge anything except for insurance. If the customer wants, we don't charge anything extra for anything on the platform. So our prices are super transparent. We also store the information. So we don't collect customer phone number, email IDs unless absolutely needed for the purpose of filling on the form. And even if we do collect numbers, we never reach out to any of your customers directly. We only store this information for future application. So let's say for the same customer, you wanted to apply for Singapore and Malaysia. Once you do Singapore, we'll automatically copy paste that information for Malaysia, so you don't have to redo it again for the same customer. So we store this information for any future applications you want to do. Plus, we give you real-time notifications, statuses on what is happening on the visa applications. I'll show a lot of it when I do a quick demo of the platform. But let's move ahead and discuss some of the other parts of the process as well. Just one last slide. So we have a voucher of 3,900 for people who are signing up on the platform today. Let me actually share the link to the platform for all of you who want to sign up. You'll be able to sign up on the platform and be able to get some of these coupon codes. Even if you've already signed up, we'll ensure that if you signed up today, we'll send out some of these voucher codes to you guys. In case you've not received it, please reach out to our team and we'll ensure that you get the voucher code today itself. We'll give you a discount of up to 3,900 on the teleport fee that we charge on your first application. Let's move ahead. I think let's I think there's another quick poll that we have on the next slide. Can we move to the next slide? Yes, this is our last poll of the day, I think, and this is the most important one as well. I want to understand what are the biggest problems in visa processing today. Is it a problem in terms of finding the right information? Is it appointments? Is it documentation and preparing all the documentation? Or then is it visa delays and rejection? So let me go ahead quickly and publish this poll. And let's look at what do you guys think are the big problems today. Okay, very interesting results. Let me wait for another 10 to 15 seconds and I'll give you enough time to think also, because I think all of these are problems, but I want to understand which one is the biggest of them all. And after this poll, I'm going to go in depth into all of these problems and tell you how to solve some of them. Okay. Okay, let me end the poll now and let's look at what everybody thinks was the biggest problem. Let me show the results. So again, no surprises here. I think the biggest problem has been appointments. Honestly, there are not very, very good solutions to these problems, but I will discuss it in the next part of this presentation. The second biggest, I think there's almost a tie between the other three problems here in terms of finding information, documentation, and delays and rejection. So why not go into each of them in detail, and I'll give you some of the solutions that we've identified as a team. And anyways, even if you don't find solutions yourself, you can always, like I said, reach out to our team. We can help solve some of these problems. Let's move to the next slide. The first problem, finding the right information. Now, finding the right information in terms of visas is extremely difficult. You go to the embassy platform, they say something, there are multiple articles, you go on Google, they will tell you different things. VFS will tell you something else. I think it's extremely difficult to find the right information. So what we've done on this slide is we're going to tell you how to solve this how to solve for some of these problems. In terms of if you're trying to find information on your own, the only source you should trust is the embassy official website. So for every country, there will be the consulate's office in India will have their own website, and you can find information there. Or you should follow their social media handles. So for example, when Malaysia went visa free, their website wasn't updated, but their social media, Facebook and Twitter, was updated that, hey, this is going visa free, and that's how everybody understood that it's going visa free. So it's important that if you're trying to find this information on your own, you look at both these places, or if there is a third party authorized partner website like a VFS or a BLS, go on to those websites and find information there. Having said this, what we've realized is despite doing all of this, there is still a lot of information that is not mentioned on the embassy website, not on the partner website. And now, over a period of time, because we do so many visas every day, we've understood what are those missing information points and we've added it to our platform. So let me, on this note, show you a quick demo of our platform and show you where you can solve this information problem. And again, like I said, if you still don't find information, feel free to reach out to us. So this is our platform. So it's called Use Teleport. On the top, you will see an agent section. So you can go to our agent section where you'll find all the information on an agent. So we're already logged in here. In case once you come for the first time, on the right hand side you will see a sign up option. So please sign up there. So you'll see a page like this where you can sign up. Moment you sign up, you'll also get the coupon code that I was telling you about. But once you log in, you will come on to this page where you will be able to search for any country information that you want. So let's pick up one of the more famous countries where a lot of people have been traveling these days. Let's pick up Vietnam. And let's look at how to find information. Though Vietnam is easy to find information on, but I want to show you a quick demo on how the platform works. So Vietnam will tell you what is the pricing, by when will you get the visa. So Vietnam takes about 5 to 7 days, 5 working days to get it approved. So we'll tell you if you apply today, by when are you going to get these visas. And we are committed to this. If you apply today, you will get your visa by the day that we are committing onto the platform. If you go further down, you will see a lot of information on the types of visas. So you will see Vietnam has a regular visa option. There is also an express option, but we do not recommend it. It's very, very expensive to get this done. So if your traveler is traveling beyond 7 days timeline, please go for the regular option only. We tell you what is all the information, whether it's a e-visa, whether it's a sticker visa, what is the processing time, what is the stay duration, what is the validity of the visa. If you look at the pricing, there is also a breakdown there. So if you click on the breakdown, it will tell you what is the embassy fee, what is the teleport fee. Plus on the bottom, you will see 2 options. There is an option to download the checklist. So you do not have to go to the embassy, VFS, any platform. Just download the checklist from here. We update this checklist very, very regularly. So if there is any change anywhere, this checklist will be updated. You need, for Vietnam, for example, the only thing we need is the passport front page and the photograph. So you can just download this. There is no branding anywhere. So you can actually share it with your customer also. If there are any additional detail points that we need, we mention it here. On the other hand, other thing you could do is there's a share quote option also. So let's say you want to share a quote with your customer through the platform, you can do it. You can just add your own margin, mention the name of the customer and just copy the details and put it on WhatsApp. Or you can, if you have your web WhatsApp opened, you can just click on web WhatsApp and you can send the details to the customer from here itself. So this is a feature we built in very recently. But having said that, you will find all the information about the visa on this page. So if you go further down on this page, you will see the process. You will again see all the documents that are needed. If you go to the bottom of this page, we also have FAQs on here. So there are a lot of questions that the agents keep asking. So we've tried our best to answer all of these questions. Having said this, if you still don't find information, on the bottom left, there is an option to ask for help. There is a WhatsApp section that we have. Just WhatsApp us or you can call us. We have a phone number as well, which we'll share later on. You can see it on our platform as well. Just call us on this number if you don't find the right information and we can help sort this out for you. So this is how you can find the right information. I also want to quickly show you, once you find information, what you can do. So let's say if you want to apply for the visa, the process is very simple. You click on the apply visa button. We ask you for your travel date. So you just tell me, hey, I'm traveling on 31st to, let's say, some date. If you give me a travel date, which is 2 days from now, I will tell you upfront that visa will not come. But because you're traveling later half of the month, I've told you that the visa will come on time. Once you put the travel dates, you can just go on to the next section. We will need your passports to be passport for all the passengers to be uploaded here. Again, we read everything, so why don't let me just quickly show you how this is done. So let me upload a passport front and passport back. So once you upload the passport, we will automatically start reading the passport onto the platform. So it takes about 5 to 10 seconds. But what this will do is it will ensure that there are no manual errors. A lot of times if it is being typed manually, there are mistakes. But because we're reading it from the passport, there are lesser mistakes, but you should still review it. If sometimes the photo is not proper, it will not pick up. But you can just upload the passport, we read it. You can add multiple travelers on the top. If you have only single traveler, you can go to the next page. Now there are two other sections for this particular country. Vietnam is a very simple visa. We just need to know what is the port of entry, what is the port of exit. And it's very important because if you give us the wrong one, it gets published on your visa. You will not be able to board the flight. So please be very sure of their port of entry and the port of exit. So this is the only information we need for Vietnam. And the last section is document checklist. Vietnam, again, like I said, like I was showing you, there are only two documents required, the passport front page and the photograph. So you can come in and upload the photo. If you don't have it now, it's fine. You can just go on the next page, complete your application. You can come back later and upload the passport later as well. So it's as simple as that. You don't have to worry about anything else. So once you come here, you will be able to make the payment for the visa and you will be then rest of it is on us. So you don't have to worry anything after this. But yeah, that's how we solve for information. We also, like I said, we simplify it. So you don't have to figure out the process or figure out which is the right platform to do it. Is this correct way to fill it, not fill it? So all of it gets taken care by our team. Now let's go on to the next problem that we were discussing. There's a lot of paperwork, right? So when it comes to especially countries like Schengen, UK, Australia, US, the form is lengthy. There are a lot of other documents to be prepared. Let's go to the next slide and I'll show you how we solve on the platform also. But in general, a few tips here. I think, like I've been saying this again and again, but please ensure that you're putting correct information. Even a small spelling error will lead to rejections here. So it's important that you check for document errors. The other most important document in your especially your Schengen UK applications is your cover letter. Please ensure that your cover letter specifies why are they going, who are they going with, what are they going to do there, what are their departure arrival dates, where are they going to stay. If there are any missing documents, let's say they don't have an income tax return, please justify it in the cover letter to say why do they not have it. If there are bank statement, there are some miscellaneous transactions, sudden deposits, sudden withdrawals, please explain it in the cover letter because otherwise it will get rejected. So it's super important. The most important document in your Schengen visa application is your cover letter and then obviously your financial documents. If both of these things are in place, the chances of visa approval is very, very high. We've tried and solved this on our platform also. So if you can, let me just quickly show you one Schengen visa application. I will not do the entire application. I'll just show you our document section. So this is a customer who's actually come in and applied on our platform itself. They filled in, basic details that were needed. If you go to the document section now, you will see all the documents. The basis what information you give me, I will generate a document checklist for you here. If it's employed, I know there is a leave letter required. If, so for example, we automatically so if you see, we've automatically generated some of these documents for you. So once you open these documents, you will see that we automatically filled all of this information. Right? So if you go to a cover letter, for example, we've filled in the name, the passport, the travel dates, basis all the information you've given us. The only thing we've not filled in here is the travel itinerary. So once you give us the flight and the hotel details, you don't need to draft it. Our team will draft it and ensure that this is completed. All you then need to do is download it and share it with your customer. But most of these documents are auto-generated on the platform. Only parts of it need filling in the end, which is largely on the itinerary front. So once you give us more details, we can do it on our end. We also, for all these countries, we have a relationship manager in the team. So if you get stuck anywhere, you can always reach out to the relationship manager, and they will ensure that they, solve all the problems that you have for a particular country. So, okay, let's go back to the presentation. Let's go back, and I think the one that came out most strongly amongst everybody here was, how do I solve for getting appointments? So let's look at how can you solve for appointments. Let me talk about a few countries. Now there are few countries which have no problems in appointments. So if your customer is asking you about country and appointments for those countries, you can go ahead and tell them appointment is not a problem, sir. Now those countries are Japan, Turkey, UK. These are three countries where we see a lot of demand, but we've never seen problems in getting an appointment across locations. So you don't even need to reach out to us, ask us. We will get you an appointment, or if you're doing it on your own, you will find an appointment. Do not worry. The problem in terms of appointments, it comes with US and then comes with Schengen countries. So let's look at US first. US, like I was saying, very, very long waiting times. There is no one very good solution to solve this problem, but I'll tell you two or three things or two or three hacks. The first thing is, we found a lot of appointments late in the night. So if your customer really wants an appointment, do try checking in or logging in late in the night. We've seen slots open up. We've seen cancellations happening then, and we've gotten a lot of slots for our customers during the late hour slots. However, this is not a foolproof mechanism. Sometimes you'll find it, sometimes you will not. So I don't want you to come back and tell me, hey, I tried late in the night and didn't get it, because again, it's not a very guaranteed way, but this is one way. The guaranteed way of doing it is getting appointments in other countries. So let's say if your customer is willing to travel to another country and get an appointment there, this is another interesting way. We've solved it for a lot of customers. We've sent customers to Singapore, to Bangkok, and gotten them appointments there. And they've gotten their visa issued in 2-3 weeks after their appointments. So if the customer is super urgent, needs it, you can explore other country appointments. Also, if it's a very urgent case, US has an option where you can write to the embassy and tell them what is the urgency for which you need this appointment for. And if they think that this is a valid reason, so if you tell them, hey, I want to go for a business meeting or a tourist reason, they will not approve it. But if there's a real reason where, there's a family death in the family, or there's something more important you just cannot skip, you can write to the US embassy and they will consider it and give you an appointment if they think it's a valid reason. So that's another way. If you've not explored and if it's something super important for your customer to go, you can write to the embassy, get an appointment. The last bit, which we don't usually recommend to people, is there are a lot of travel agents who will give you appointments. They will charge you anywhere between, 20,000 to 50,000 to get you some of these appointments, and they do get you. It's not like they don't, but we do not recommend this as a way to kind of go and get appointments for US. But yeah, these are some of the ways you can get US appointments if you've not tried some of them, especially writing to the embassy, checking later slots. Do try them out to get appointments for US. Coming to Schengen, Schengen is a very seasonal problem. So right now, if you ask me, is Schengen visa appointments a problem? It is not. We will get you appointments for most of the countries in the next 15 to 20 days period. The problem for Schengen visa appointments comes during the peak season, which is summer. So starting from February to like May, June, getting appointments will start getting harder. So if you have customers who need appointments now, do not worry. But otherwise, the way to solve for this problem is VFS has this option called as visa at your doorstep. If you've not explored, that's a good option. They do not have it in all countries. What they do here is they will send somebody at the customer's house and they will do biometrics there. Now, the point to note here is it's super expensive. So they will charge you anywhere like close to 8,000 extra, 8 to 10,000 extra to do this. So if the customer is willing to pay, and the country that you're applying for, VFS website will tell you clearly whether there is an option for visa at doorstep for that country. So you can find more information on visa at your doorstep there and get appointments through that mechanism. The other interesting way to solve for it is to go for countries which have shorter wait time. Now, there are few countries during last summer where there were very few wait times. So there are countries like Norway, countries like Finland had shorter wait times. What we'd done for customers was we'd gotten them an appointment there. For some of them, they'd actually change the itinerary to, start at that country and then move to another country. If you need help on which countries have shorter wait times, please again reach out to our team on call or WhatsApp, and we'll tell you which countries have shorter wait time. Having said that, like I said, right now it's not a big problem. You will get appointments across most countries in the Schengen region. Lastly, the only other way we've found, just can you go back to the previous slide? The only other way we've found to solve this problem is just daily logins onto the VFS platform. Just ensure you're not doing it very, very often. If you do very often, they block your accounts. But we've seen appointment slots opening up for the next day or the day after, just on the day before. So if you want an appointment for 20th or 21st December, sometimes there are cancellations that happen. So you might do, if you go and log in on 18th, you might get appointments for 19th and 20th. So if all the documentation for the customer is ready, just logging in every day to just see if the appointment for the next day is available is also a good way to get appointments for the Schengen countries. You don't need to honestly do all of this. If you're using Teleport, our team has already figured out some of these ways to get appointments. So feel free to reach out to our team, apply on the platform. We'll ask you on the platform, we ask you for the preferred appointment date for the customer. As far as possible, we'll try and get you those dates. In case it's not possible at all to get you those dates, we'll reach out to you. We'll give you the alternate option in terms of an alternate, let's say an alternate Schengen country or an alternate date, and we'll ensure that we book your appointments at our end. Right. So that's it in terms of appointments. I hope that was helpful to at least some of you who've not tried some of these ways to get appointments. The last section I wanted to cover for today is visa delays and rejections. Now, this has also been a problem for a lot of European countries. Of late, we've been seeing visa rejections in countries like Australia and New Zealand as well. So let's talk about how we can reduce visa rejections. So I'm going to share a few tips and tricks on how to reduce visa rejection. So let's go to the next slide and talk about why these visas get rejected. So the most important reasons where we've seen visa rejections happening. Number one, you filled incorrect information in your form, incorrect details, or you said something wrong and that's why it has gotten rejected. Second important reason where a lot of Schengen countries tell you is that we're not convinced that that your travel plan is real and that you're going to come back, and so they just don't trust your travel itinerary, and that is why they reject. The third most important reason for rejections is not having sufficient financial backing right now, and these are things which we know upfront, and I think some of these problems are solvable. One is, please ensure you're reviewing your forms again and again to ensure there are no mistakes, errors in filling out the form. But the most important things you need to take care of is on your financial side and on your itinerary side. On the financial side, for Schengen countries especially, we recommend having at least 1.5 to 2 lakhs per passenger in the account of the person. The other thing to do here is, please ensure that you're not depositing money right before the appointment. So if the account balance is 30,000 usually and you deposit 2 lakhs right before the appointment or 10 days before the appointment, this is a huge red flag. The chances of your visa getting rejected is extremely high. You might as well not do it at all. The solution to this problem rather is, if they have very little balance, get them sponsored by somebody else. It could be a family friend, it could be somebody who's inviting them there. Get them sponsored by them instead of adding money to their account and then applying for visa on their own. The better solution is get them sponsored and not adding any money into the bank balance right before the appointment. In case it has actually happened, please ensure in the cover letter, if there are a lot of sudden deposits, sudden withdrawals, please ensure that in the cover letter you're mentioning why there are sudden deposits and withdrawals, right? Again, we've seen this specifically in UK, where if you have sudden deposits and withdrawals, they will reject your visa saying that we don't know where this money is coming from. So it's always good to explain it in the cover letter. So that's on the bank balance and the bank account side. Also, not having income tax returns or having very little income tax return amount shown in the income tax return leads to rejections. Again, a good solution here is get the traveler sponsored by somebody else in the family or somebody who's inviting them, or the corporate, for example, if it's a corporate visa. Do not apply on their own financials because chances of rejections are very high. The last thing here is itinerary. Now, we do not recommend giving, there are some countries which are okay with having on-hold itineraries. Countries like France, for example, they're okay with you providing on-hold flights, hotels. But there are a lot of countries in the Schengen region which are not very pro to on-hold dummy tickets, hotels. So we recommend that you have proper flight tickets done and hotels done. If you still want us to do an on-hold ticket, we will do it for you on the platform. We again do not charge anything additional for doing on-hold flights or on-hold hotels. So if you want on the platform, you can just tell us that I need help with on-hold tickets. We'll do it, but it's not recommended for certain countries. So avoid as far as possible. Also, your itinerary needs to be as detailed as possible. If you're booking a on-hold hotel, do not book the same hotel for 10 days, for example, because again, it's a red flag saying that, hey, you're going to Paris and you're saying 10 days in exact same hotel. It creates a red flag. So if you're doing an itinerary, let's do a proper itinerary, which is going to be their actual itinerary instead of, just booking one single hotel for this customer on the platform. Right. So these are some of the things you can do to reduce rejections. A lot of times the question I also get is, if my visa got rejected or if the customer's visa got rejected, can I apply immediately or should I wait? The answer to that question is you can apply immediately. You do not need to wait for 2-3 months. The only time you'd want to wait 2-3 months is if there is no way you can solve the problem that the embassy has highlighted in the rejection letter. So for example, if the rejection letter says we are not convinced of your travel itinerary, my suggestion is go and apply immediately again. And give out proper travel itineraries, book proper hotels, flights, and give it out and tell them that, hey, we've now submitted proper flight, hotels. But let's say if the reason for rejection is that you do not have enough financial backing, then do not apply again immediately. Get the financials to get a little stronger. And then when the financials are strong enough, there is enough balance consistently over a period of time, go again and apply for this customer. So there is no one answer ki it has to be, you have to wait for 2 months, 3 months. You can do it immediately if there is an answer to the problem that the embassy has highlighted. So that's solving for rejections. On the platform, like I said, again, you can come and track all the statuses on the platform and we'll help you with solving for some of these rejections. Wherever there are cases where we feel the visa will get rejected, we will tell you upfront that, hey, this is a dicey case, the visa could get rejected. And if you tell us to still apply, we will apply it for you. But we'll be very honest and upfront in our communication if we feel the visa is going to get rejected. So let's go next. I think that's it in terms of the presentation I had. These are just some of the testimonials of travel agents, customers who worked with us. Like I said, if you need any help, you can always reach out to me. You can reach out to the team in terms of help you need. Even if you're not applying onto our platform, but you need answers to some of the questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to us on WhatsApp and call, and we can answer some of the questions that you have. I think that's it in terms of the slides that we have. Can you move to the next slide, Ravi? I'm leaving the next few minutes. We have 10 minutes exactly, so I've not overrun in terms of time. We'll pick up Q&A that anybody would have. Let me answer some of the questions that I already see in the Q&A section. Okay, I'm already a registered agent before getting the promotional link. How can I claim the voucher? Got it. We'll send you the voucher separately. So people who are signing up today will automatically get a voucher immediately on email. For people who signed up in the last few days, we'll send out the voucher to you. In case you do not get the voucher by tomorrow, please reach out to our team on any of our WhatsApp or call numbers and we'll send out this voucher to you. Will you recommend the countries which do not allow hold feature of tickets and hotels before proceeding with visas? Okay, let me understand if I got this question correct. Countries that do not allow hold. Honestly, if you go to the checklist for each of these countries, you will find whether on hold is allowed or not. Like I said, One country I'm 100% sure is okay with it is France. Countries that are definitely not okay with it are countries like Greece. We've also seen rejections in Norway coming through because there were on hold tickets, even though all the other things were in place. Also, it's very subjective, Sagar. So, what we've seen is, let's say if the financials are very, very strong, sometimes the embassy doesn't care whether it's an on hold ticket or not. But let's say the financials are weak, they will go back and look at your itinerary and they'll be like, okay, let me see if this person has booked it on hold or not. So there is no correct answer, and which is why we always recommend that please try and book actual flights, hotels, and especially if the financials aren't strong, because then the embassy will go deeper and look at your itinerary, right? So I would suggest at least certain countries like Greece, Norway, avoid at all costs. Certain countries like France, do it. In all the other countries, look at the financials. If you feel the financials are weak, or if you're doing it through us, we'll tell you the financials don't look very strong. Let's not do a on hold ticket or an itinerary. Okay. Then there is another question on will you recommend, okay, for sponsorship, we heard that only blood relation, close relatives can sponsor the tour and not friends. Ideally, yes, it has to be blood relations or your family. Friends, not recommended. A lot of embassies will not accept this. Getting your employer, if it's possible, do it through an employer. So it will get accepted by a lot of embassies. It's not like it won't get accepted, but the chance, then you'll have to justify whether or not, like, why is a friend doing it for you, and only if your justification is strong enough will it get accepted. So it's not, is it possible to do it? Yes, except for a few countries. So for example, Turkey is one country which doesn't allow friends to do it. So there we'll tell you upfront, no friends to sponsor. But a lot of Schengen countries do allow, but then you'll have to have very strong justification. So we recommend close relatives and blood relations where you can justify and not get it sponsored by somebody else. Does payment gateway accept credit card, net banking, UPI? There's no additional fee for it. We accept all payment channels, so you can try credit card, net banking, UPI, all of it. No additional cost on the platform. The price that we mention on our country page is the price that we charge to you. We do not charge anything extra for doing on-hold bookings, itineraries, any of it. The only thing that I mentioned that we charge for is insurance. So if you're doing Schengen visa and you need our help on insurance, because it's very customer specific depending on the age, the number of days, the country, the visa, the insurance cost keeps changing. So we've not included that cost. In case you buy the insurance from us, we'll charge you something extra. But otherwise, we do not charge. The fee that we quote to you is the fee that will be charged to you. Tina has a question of if we have an office in Pune, not yet. We have offices at Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. So we can process it through our Bombay office. If you need help on Pune, and hopefully soon we'll have an office in Pune also. When we get there, we'll share this information. We're starting new offices very soon. So when we start a Pune office, we'll let you know. Then there's a question on what are the payment channels to make payment for applied visas. Like I mentioned before, we have all the online channels, net banking, UPI, credit card. You can make the payment onto the platform itself, and we take care of it from there. If there are any problems that you're facing while doing the payment, please feel free to reach out to our team. We can solve any payment issues that you face on the platform. Spouse visa, not yet, Kapil. We do only tourist visas and business visas. So all short-term visas we do. Anything that is work visa, student visa, spouse visa, we do not do it right now. Hopefully in the near future we'll add them, we'll have it, and we'll keep you informed when we launch some of these visas as well. Can you get multiple logins for the staff? Yes, Ravi, you can. The login on our platform is actually basis phone number today. So you can just ask your team members to sign up using their phone numbers. Just ask them to mention when they're signing up, to mention the company name, and in case you have a GST number, you can mention the GST number as well. We will all then you can have multiple logins for your staff members by them just creating logins on the platform using their phone number. Link for registration, we'll We've shared it on the chat. If somebody from my team can again post it on chat, that will be great. How do we know which countries are okay with? I think I already answered this question on which countries are okay and which countries aren't. Do we have a dedicated team? Yes. So once you sign up, somebody from our team will reach out to you as well. So if you signed up today, in the next 2 or 3 days, you will have a relationship manager will reach out to you. Going forward, if you have any questions, you can reach out to the relationship manager. Even if the relationship manager is not available, you can reach out to our WhatsApp numbers or call us directly and we can get those problems sorted. So in case the relationship manager is not picking up the phone, please reach out to us on WhatsApp and or our phone numbers and we'll solve the problem. We've answered some of the other questions. Let me go down and see if there's anything else. I think we've answered most of the questions. Are there questions that are not answered? One second, let me sort it by recent and I'll just see if there are questions that haven't been answered and I could pick them up. Student visa, we do not. Philippines visa requires physical documents. Yes, Philippines will require physical documents. It's a very complicated process. It's similar to if you've done Singapore, Turkey, Japan. It's like that. You can just send the documents to our office and we will process it. So the customer doesn't need to visit personally. Australia visa, yes, we do. It's an entirely e-visa process, so you do not need to submit any physical documents. You can just upload it on our platform and we process it for you. The code that we've generated is a one-time use code, so you can use it if you're doing multiple travelers. You can just add all the travelers in the first application and you can get a discount of up to 3,900 rupees onto the platform. So even if you have 10 applicants, we will waive off up to the 3,900 fee that we have. Schengen visa, there is an option you'll have to search. So there's a question on there's no option for Schengen visa in the website. Which country should I opt? Very good question. So Schengen visa, you should apply for the country where you're going to spend the most number of days at. If you're spending equal number of days in each of those countries, you should then go ahead and apply the country where you're entering in. Right? So you can just search for the country where you're going to spend the most number of time and we can help process those countries. How will we handle Singapore visas where physical documents? So the documents need to be sent to our office at either of the 3 locations. We manage the return. So all the fee that we mentioned on the platform includes the return courier fee. So we will courier it back to your office or to the customer's location if you want us to. But the sending the documents to, we don't do pickups right now at the customer location. So you will have to send the documents to our office and we'll process it and we'll return the passport either to you or the customers. Okay, let me take the last 1 or 2 questions. There's one question on Poland visa appointments. Poland right now is not giving tourist visa appointments. So it's very hard to get Poland tourist visa appointments. Unless they're, visiting there for work or some of the other category visas, we could get you an appointment. But honestly, we don't do these categories. Poland, you'll have to apply for another Schengen country and enter from there because they have not been issuing any tourist visa appointments. I think that's it. There are questions on API for white labeling. I'll ask the team, Subhash, to reach out to you separately for this on how we can do white labeling. So if you just sign up on our platform today, we'll have your phone number and email ID and the team will reach out to you in the next couple of days to understand how we can help you with the white labeling side of it as well. So I think I've tried and answered as many as I could. I know there are a few more questions, but we're running out of time today. We can take it offline. You can reach out to our team if you need more help on some of these questions. And we promise we'll get back to you on some of these questions that you need help on. But that's it from my side. Thank you so much for coming again, like on a Tuesday afternoon to attend this session. and for listening to us and seeing the demo. If there's any feedback that you would like to share, please reach out to me also directly. I will also, maybe share my number here on the chat. So if you feel like reaching out to me for any feedback, please feel to reach out to me on WhatsApp. Even in case I don't pick up the call, I'm reachable on WhatsApp throughout. Okay, I think that's it, Ritesh. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
Wow. Thank you so much, Nikita. I think there were a bunch of problem statements hanging around, and you gave us an amazing solution on fingertips. So thank you so much. I think you have answered a lot of questions. We've been
Yeah.
doing webinars a lot of times, but thank you so much for answering all the questions. And I would like to thank each and everyone present here for sticking around and being a part of this informative webinar. And of course, thank you very much, Ms. Nikita, and your team working at the back end. I think they are really working very hard to answer all the questions. And important announcement that the coupon code links are being provided in the chat. Everyone can use that. Well, the questions which couldn't be answered today, our speakers will try their best to respond personally and solve your queries. The inquiry numbers are flashed on the screens right now. You can note it down. Yeah, this is Ritesh signing off for now, and hope to see you all very soon on our next webinar. Thank you again and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.